Welcome to Jump Shots from the Goal Line. I'm your host, Jonathan Dugan. I am joined, as always, by my wonderful co-host, Mr. John Henningsen. And we have a special guest today. We have the bot himself, Mr. Matt Hesse. Welcome to the show, Hesse. How's it going, dude?
Pretty good. How about you?
I'm good, dude. We are actually doing this in video. So if you hear us being just way too silly or just losing our shit, because I've already done it even in our pre-show with Henny, just get ready for that. It's going to get stupid. I guarantee it, because I can see Henny's face now, and it's just, it's not going to be good.
Look,
let me tell you.
You get lost in 150-940-935's eyes. That happens.
It's easy to do it.
And that makes sense if you're watching, and if not, probably doesn't make a lot of sense at all. And actually, I'm not even sure if that shows up on the video. So if not, good luck figuring it out.
Yeah. But this is our inaugural video episode. It'll be on YouTube, TikTok, all that fun stuff. So go check it out if you're just listening to us in audio. Outside of that, boys, it's been a really, really crazy weekend, has it not? I mean, I feel like a billion different things in the sports world have happened.
Yeah, this is a great sports weekend. Hesse, I'm so glad you're joining us. It's going to be an easy one for you. It should just be like laying down a couple singles. You know what I mean? It's going to be easy to talk about because a lot happened, which is great for us. I'm excited that we're doing video for the first time. It's a new medium for us, so just bear with us if we make weird faces, have weird habits. I guess point them out. It's the only way we're going to learn. But, we have like a whole new thing to tame here, and I'm excited that you're here for it. And, yeah, we had a ton of stuff happen. So, obviously, we could talk NBA. We can talk golf. Not a golf podcast, but we can take this thing anywhere, man.
Yeah, dude. Absolutely. I feel like especially today on Father's Day, which, by the way, happy Father's Day, all those fathers out there, or fathers. Is that what your fiance said on Instagram, Henny? I think know. You're a father.
It's such stolen valor. Happy Father's Day to anybody who's a father. If you have a dog and you're like a good dog dad, that's great.
Yeah.
But happy Father's Day to real dads. Happy Father's Day, Dad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I am a dad. So
1 for 3.
At least that's at least what I've been told. So no, but I feel like today it definitely popped off the most, right? Like, I mean, we had US Open end, we had the Bradley Beal trade, we had the Nations League Cup today. I mean, I feel like everything just chose to pop the hell off today. So again, like what Henny said, we're super, super happy to be joining you in video format today. Outside of that, boys, how was your weekends? Anything fun happen?
Hesse, you got anything going on? I'll follow you.
I went to the Tucson Sugar Skulls game to watch zero defense being played.
Oh, sick. I've never been to one of those games. Are they pretty fun?
Yeah, it's fun. It's just if you expect defense, there's literally no defense. And it's really tight that the players use the bathroom that the fans get to use. So it's really weird to go take a piss next to one of the football players, and then he sprints out to go back on the field.
Dude, that's incredible.
I like that. God. And for those that don't have context, because probably not everybody in the podcast follows the Sugar Skulls as closely as our boy Matthew here. That's an arena football team, and they're playing in what, Tucson Convention Center? Did I see that right?
Yeah, Tucson Convention Center. Same place the Roadrunners play, or Ice Cats used to play.
And your future Coyotes.
Come on down, baby.
Maybe.
Oh, man. Nobody else got that subtle joke that Henny just laid on us, that nobody knows that team better than Hesse, and it's because Hesse literally was standing at a urinal with a player. I just wanted to point that out because it was very subtle, and it was just, that was a good ass joke. So, goddamn, it's true. Nobody gets the team better than you do, Hesse. So that's awesome though, dude. How about you, Henny? I'm sure you went golfing this weekend.
Yeah, played Saturday. So I played a little bit the other day, and then I'll be playing again tomorrow morning. Shout out Juneteenth. So happy Father's Day, happy Juneteenth as well.
Absolutely.
Happy to be celebrating that in a more official capacity, probably for the first time. Not that it's not been talked about or hasn't been celebrated in the past, but at least from just so happens where we work, they do celebrate, so we'll be supporting. So I have the additional day off, as do you fellas. So shout out to everyone celebrating Juneteenth as well.
Absolutely. Where are you golfing tomorrow?
Just the old Randolph, just the old standby comfort track. We're teeing off around like 6 something in the morning, so we'll be getting up early, getting out there, and trying to beat the heat. So it's officially that time of year where you get caught out there midday. I mean, it's not for the weak.
No, dude, it's not. Oh my God. I feel like every time I step outside, it gets hotter and hotter. So I'm jealous, though, man. That'll be fun. I am golfing next weekend. I'm going to be golfing Star Pass, which just so happens to be the weekend you're out of town, because of course it is.
Yeah. Star Pass is a
we're
great
never
track,
going to
though.
golf together again. Yeah,
That
but we're just
quarterly
never going to golf again.
golf round.
Yeah,
I know.
Me and the Liv, we only get 14 events a year, so I gotta make sure I use them wisely. For me, outside of Father's Day, I feel like I didn't do a whole lot. Just been hanging out with my daughter, so boring old dad life. That's me, baby. So whatever. Let's just jump into it, though, guys. The U.S. Open. Rory did not shit the bed, or did he shit the bed? I don't know, Henny. You kind of came at me earlier today about it.
Well, I think for anybody so look, there's a certain type of person that's on the internet, and that certain type of person happens to lead this podcast off most days. There's a certain kind of person on the internet who's been drinking some weird Kool-Aid, man. They've been wearing the same Nikes, and they are following all the Live Tour guys, and now you're just like weirdly obsessed with Rory in a way that you all claim to not be. And I think you guys are sick, man. Like you're just sick. So Rory he shot even par today, which so did the leader and the guy that ultimately won. Sure, you could make the argument, yes, Rory's a bigger name. We hope that he wins, and whatever that means in terms of who hopes. Because I'm not really even like rooting for Rory, but I would be hard pressed to call this a choke job. He basically stood his ground today, played sort of the norm of what the course was willing to give today. And yeah, a putt could have rolled in, a putt could have rolled out, but you could question a shot as much on Thursday as any shot that he took today. So to me, just qualifying it as a choke job tells me you probably followed too many Live Tour accounts and you're really excited and giddy for all the wrong reasons, right? Like you're still excited for Halloween, but like you're 37. So it's maybe just chill out a little bit. The candy's not for you, dog. So that's really where I'm at with the Rory situation. It's not that he didn't win and he came in second. But I'll just say that I wasn't actively rooting against anybody, and like people still posting the Live stats. I still think it's kind of weird. Like 10% of the guys on Live Tour and 17% of them made the cut. And like, dude, you're sending like whatever. Like, and I thought we were like, are we not all together? Is it not all the same now, or we're still doing like just? I'm basically just annoyed with golf Twitter right now. I'm just kind of grossed out by all of it. But we could talk about anything but Rory, unless of course, well, you're sick, so let's talk about Rory.
All right, and just for a general point of reference for the people out there, the reason this is being brought up is because I on purpose retweeted well, dude, what is the page? Is it like Live Golf?
I don't know. Live
Golf enthusiast,
live, laugh,
or
live
like
more. I don't know. Loudly.
Yeah,
I'm not
live,
sure.
laugh, love, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some Live like Twitter pages I don't even actually follow. It's like one of those that just shows up. I think it's on, what is it?
It's even worse. The algorithm knows what you want, you sicko. It's even worse. You're not even signing up. They're just like spoon feeding you poison now.
Dude, it's because I follow that dude we met at the Live Tour, like whatever.
Drunk at the turn, yeah,
drunk at the turn. So now it's just feeding me all his shit. Well, anyway, like I saw that tweet and it was like all about Rory choking, and I legitimately hit it and I was like, this is gonna piss John off. And what was it, dude? Like 2 hours later, I just get a random text in the group chat between you, me, and Hussey, just like, you sycophant.
I'm like, what's wrong with you, man? Like what's going on? I'm like, just do the TikTok dance. Do it, Dugan. I know you want to, you little trend following hooker. Come on. No, yeah, I just hope you're okay. If you're actually okay and you're just having fun with me, then I honestly don't continue to live your life.
I don't think he. Okay, he didn't not blow it. He didn't fuck up. How about that? right?
Yeah, he didn't win. He's supposed
Yeah,
to win,
yeah,
but
he
like
didn't win.
there's
But
130 guys in this tournament, so it's just like
yeah,
that's where I go like,
but
all
it's
right,
a
yeah, like this is exactly like, oh man, like Suns lost to the Bucks, like they suck, and you know who sucks forever? The Suns. They suck. They're the worst team in the league, dude. They lost to Giannis in the finals. Oh, what a bunch of losers. It's that it gives me that vibes when Rory's not actually choking. When he's
no,
actively
yeah,
playing poorly and missing and shooting 7 over on Sunday when the rest of the field doesn't, open for discussion. I'm with you. I wouldn't, hey, look, did I throw any money on Rory today? Hell no. But,
yeah.
so it
Nor
ended
would
where it
you
ended.
ever. You've been very clear on that. You probably would never put money on Rory. So, no, it
Not
was
my
another
money.
instance of him going into the last day with a chance to win it, and he just can't do it. That's more where I'm coming from. I'm actually not actively rooting for him to shit his pants. Like, I'm with you. When it happens, hell yeah, I think it's hilarious. But I'm not going into like Sunday being like, man, I hope Rory really fucks up here. I will say Ricky Fowler did have a tough day, right? He had an incredible first day, and then he completely he shit the bed. That's who shit the bed, not Rory.
Yep. He had a very tough day, and credit to Clark. Clark played it, he did what he had to do. Basically, just kind of hung on today, which was the task, right? Was just to hang on. And yeah, I mean, we just didn't see it from Ricky, which, I was texting buddies early in the week after he had the lead on Thursday, like, hey, what day does it happen? Is it like Friday, Saturday, or Sunday with Ricky? Because it's probably going to happen. So,
Yeah.
but, I mean, so do I do some dancing on some graves? Yeah, I probably do too, Dugan. So I should probably let you off the hook a little bit, but I'll just say that I'm not happily retweeting. I'm just secretly like between us, like, save your money, dude.
Yeah. No, it was funny though, because like you and I were kind of texting back and forth on what was it, Thursday, and I was just like, holy shit, Ricky. And you're like, yeah, like that's crazy. And I think we both said like, well, can he hold on to it? Can he do it again?
Yeah.
And it was just too easy. He's just done this kind of his whole career. He's never won a major, right? I don't think.
No, and the thing with golf, and it's kind of like what I alluded to with the NBA, like it's easier to bet against guys, right? So it's easy to like sit on that side and like just be a hater all the time. Like, but what I kept talking to you about was like, hey, Scotty's there, that guy makes you nervous, but it ends up being the surprise guy, which was cool. It was probably the least exciting thing that could have happened. I'm sure we'll learn more about Clark as this goes on, but we all had to kind of like learn together, and it wasn't one of the traditional stories on a big U.S. Open weekend that you might want at LA Country Club and sort of all the things that could have been very exciting, which, still a good tournament and we still enjoyed it. But these things inevitably become more memorable if someone like Rory wins, if Ricky wins his first, if Scheffler continues his dominance. Any of those storylines, frankly, are more interesting than a new guy in Clark, but maybe Clark starts to begin his own new storyline. So maybe 2 years from now, we're talking about this win totally differently.
Yeah. Let's talk about the course, though, really quick, because you and I, again, we were texting about just the tournament in general kind of since Thursday. There are a lot of complaints about it, I think who were like some of the big guys complaining about it? I know Brooks was one of them. He said there was a lot of blind tee shots. He doesn't love that. And then who was the other guy that I sent you? Was it Hadwin or Hovland?
Dugan immediately is like, I saw some of the live guys were complaining. I don't follow the live guys. I'm just saying that I saw some of their comments. Did anybody from the tour say anything, or what's the deal? Is that still going on with the tour? No. So Hovland had mentioned it in terms of course setup. It came to some of the other guys just in terms of like Matthew Fitzpatrick, I think mentioned it. There were other guys that just and there's a lot of people talking about, if you watched it, the crowd noise was a little low. You didn't see big crowds because of the way they limited the tour event. And it was basically just a bad setup by the USGA in terms of the model, releasing minimal tickets, a lot of those tickets being corporate tickets. Corporate tickets aren't fun people, right? Those are people that are getting tickets because they're free and they want to go to the event and have the drinks and wear the hat and do all the things. That's cool. Not knocking anybody for getting free tickets and having a good time. That's great. But the diehards are the people that are in that general admission. That number was limited to 9,000. You spread that over 18 holes. That's really not a big number. Apparently, it was kind of a harder course to move around, a limited course in terms of getting numbers in there. So that all adds up to being kind of a womp womp in terms of venue environment.
Yeah. And yeah, it was definitely apparent. I think it's always tough to like go from some of these tournaments. Like you see the Masters, you see a few of the others, and they have just like these huge crowds and like they're fun. You think of the Waste Management, just a rowdy fucking crowd, but it's fun. And then you go to this, and it was just like, where is everybody, bro? Like, um,
Did you
it
have the
was
volume
weird.
up towards the end of that round, though? Either of you guys? Were you watching it all, Hess? And it's okay if you weren't, but I don't want to put you on the spot. Were you watching it all, Dugan, with volume up?
No, not today, dude. Not with the volume up. I was watching on my phone because my wife, she wanted to spend time with me on Father's Day. So
Yeah,
weird,
which
I
is
know.
no knock, and you can just have it in the background. Perfectly acceptable to put golf in the background. That's kind of I
Yeah,
think how where
dude.
it belongs. It's a baseball vibe.
Perfect,
Um,
perfect phone sport. You just have it on your
yeah,
phone,
yeah,
just
and you can
looking
like
at it every
check
now
it,
and then.
follow along. So yeah, no knock. But I will say the audio is picking up definitely a much hotter today, and even though it wasn't louder, like as loud as it was in Brookline, so in the Massachusetts area last year, what you did hear was a lot of very sarcastic, very like the comments that got in there. You're going to get some really good audio clips over the next couple days that are leaking through all the social media stuff because there's definitely plenty of people just like letting people have it quite loudly that were leaking into
Mm-hmm.
that stuff. So I still think the leaders fought every bit of the crowd and hearing some pretty harsh commentary from the 7 or 8 guys that were being vocal. They were highly vocal, and I would consider them effective. It's not the things I would want to be hearing if I was missing putts around those greens. There were some pretty tough critics
Yeah.
out there.
Well, I look forward to having those leak out, dude, and you'll have to forward those over to me on the good old Twitter. But cool, man. Outside of that, what were some of your other thoughts on the tournament? I mean, anybody else that kind of impressed you or kind of shocked you how like poor they did?
No, I mean these things are just course to course, and it was an interesting course. It played a little different. We don't see a lot of like. There's obviously the West Coast swing, but this is a course that hasn't been played when James is talking right in 100 years or something.
Yeah.
So it was an interesting setup. You had. I'll just say this though, in terms of like the quality of the course, for anybody who's kind of complaining about that, as much as you might want to be critical of it, when you end up with Rory, Scheffler, Morikawa making a charge today, Cam Smith making a charge, Dustin Johnson in the top 10 and flirting with it. Like when you hear those names, I'm like, well, this is what you want. These are the
Yeah.
guys that you're trying to have rise as the cream of the crop, and they rose. So for me, it was just a good tournament with a bunch of good leaders, and we just never really had the drama because Clark was just steady enough today. Clark was steady enough. Rory kind of held just a stretch above the others. And so we
Yeah.
just didn't have 4 or 5 guys in play late. When it came to the back nine, it was really two. Rory hung in there, and Clark made just not an, just he did just enough. So it
Yeah.
was just kind of like a low drama tournament, but it was a really good leaderboard. So it was strong. It was a strong tournament, strong field. I love the U.S. Open. I love U.S. Opens. So to me, it was just a good tournament with a good field and low drama, unfortunately.
Yeah. Perfect, man. What's the next big tournament that we need to be on the lookout for?
The Open. So we'll be talking the British, which to me is like such a like it's just such a different. Again, it's such a different game. Um, Obviously, the Euros are going to be more heavily involved, so you have to like lean as like someone know how to play these courses. But then there's like guys like Rory who seemingly play the U.S. game. He throws the ball very high up in the air. He's not like a link style player who keeps it low. So maybe this is the re-rise of Cam Smith of just like short game magic. Is Hovland get a run at it? So I think we'll see some different names, but man, we're probably killing people on the golf, and I'm chomping at the bit. I didn't put on this sun shirt for nothing, brother.
I know. I'm just staring here looking at Hesse, and Hesse's like, God damn it, these guys just keep talking about fucking golf. So let's jump into it, dude. Like, obviously, this wasn't anything that I was expecting. I mean, I saw like some rumors that it could happen, like Bradley Beal to the Suns or to the Heat, maybe the Kings. But I was just like, nah, like, I think somebody's throwing in our name just to throw in our name. And then I think the first real like kind of glimmer of hope I saw for this was when Gambo last night, somebody tweeted at him and was like, "Hey, are these Bradley Beal's rumors true?" And usually he's the first person to just shoot it down. And he was like, "No, they're true." And I was like, "Holy shit, we might actually get Bradley Beal." And boys, we stole Bradley Beal, did we not?
Hesse fireworks
for nothing.
I'm dying to hear from you. So just let the people hear from you.
I mean, I was just stoked to get rid of Shamit and upgrade. So I'll take that all day.
Hell yeah, dude. Like, I can't believe all it took was Shamit, like statistically one of the worst like playoff players ever.
Top 10.
And then an aging Chris Paul. Like, and just a couple second round picks, a few pick swaps. Granted, we don't have like a pick for like the next decade, but who cares? Like, who freaking cares, boys? Like, that's all it took. And we still have DeAndre Ayton that we can trade for whatever we want, you know, like some kind of bench if we want to keep him. I know, look, I know, Henny, that's your guy. Like, if you want to keep him, I get it, but he's still a Sun. So, what are your boys' thoughts like on the team going in next year?
I mean, first of all, like I just think it's like you guys mentioned, it's just crazy this happened. Like the fact that we moved a 38-year-old Chris Paul who has not been able to finish a postseason and like stop, pause. Thank you, Chris Paul, for all the things you've done. We've talked about that multiple times on the pod, so I'm not going to like go on about it forever. But then to continue to turn this asset, which Chris Paul is still apparently, like at least enough to the tune of whatever is, which is why, dude, like you're never in jail. Like you're never in jail. If you have people that want to win, you're just never out of this. There's always deals to be had. And like, no, like this wasn't on our radar. We never talked about Bradley Beal at all. No thought of this. Like, I don't think anybody in this group's ever brought it up, and we've thrown some I mean, I've sent you simulations where LeBron James gets traded for Shamit and Chris Paul. Ha 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 ha. Then we got that deal for Bradley Beal, which was like not that far different. Like we actually got a younger guy, and he's not LeBron James by any means, but like we jokingly were like, what if we could move Chris Paul and Shamit for something? Like those numbers work in a salary for a super player. Why don't we just do that again? And then here we are doing it. So I know there's going to be all this like 4 and 5 years down the road. Like, are we putting ourselves in a bad place? But again, like you prove that if you want to win time and time again, then just reflip these guys. These guys are all moving. Russell Westbrook's been traded 7 times. Chris Paul's on his 19th team now or whatever. Like,
yeah, dude.
All of this stuff can be moved. And so like, I have nothing else but be excited. We turned 2 non-assets, as far as I was concerned, guys that I thought absolutely had to go from the roster one way or the other. And we turned them into an all-star. So we win. This is great, I guess. I mean, I obviously, and then to your point, we got to keep Ayton, which whether you actually keep Ayton or turn him into another trade asset is ridiculous. So I just can't believe this happened.
Dude. Did you see the tweet that I sent you earlier, Henny? That it was like, I either sent it to you on Twitter or I sent it to the group chat. So you might have seen it too, Hesse, but it was like this shitty point guard triumvirate or whatever. And it's like Wall, Westbrook, and Chris Paul. They've all played on the Rockets, the Wizards, and the Clippers now. Like, it's so funny, dude. It's so perfect. And but that goes to your point, right? Henny, like you can flip these guys at any point. There's gonna be a team, no matter what, that wants to buy your shit. Like, because they're gonna be tanking, they need an expiring, whatever. There's always room for movement. And like that's why, like, I saw ESPN gave us like a D rating earlier, and I was like, how the shit do you give this a D rating when you moved a 38-year-old point guard and like one of the worst playoff players ever? Like, Hesse, give me your thoughts, dude. Like, I know you got him.
So, I mean, when you see the name, you're like, oh, this is really exciting. And we're going to get vet minimums just by having this trio, obviously. But I see the concern, like, okay, who's going to be point? You can do point book all day?
Yes. Oh, yeah, you do.
I mean, if you had to. That's what we ended up doing in the playoffs anyways. Like, we weren't trotting out campaign, and Chris Paul was already dead. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know how this isn't a win. To give it a D is ridiculous. That is what is ridiculous, is you cannot give this a D. If you give this a D for 2027, that's fine. It's a better team right now than it was yesterday.
You know that when Chris Paul was out during the regular season, Devin Booker averaged 29 and 7 as point book. I'm just saying. I mean, what do you got to say about that, Hesse?
I'm just being a devil's advocate at this point. But my question, I just have a hard time with the people who are comparing this to when we signed. God, you're gonna have to help me out with this. Isaiah Thomas, Goran, And who was the
Dragic?
third point guard we had?
And
Yeah,
Bledsoe.
Goran Dragic.
Bledsoe, dog. Bledsoe.
And we
Get
had
me outta
Isaiah
here.
Thomas.
I don't want to be
Eric, I don't want to be here. Bledsoe, which all-time tweet.
I was at the barbershop.
Yeah. No, I think he said the hairdresser. It was even worse, dude. It was even the barbershop.
Hairdresser.
It's just an all-time unbelievable thing that somebody would say. Just the worst lie.
I'm excited about the Hooters squad assembling.
Yeah, that was the sickest tweet that I sent you, right? The fact that he's actually tweeted about Hooters.
How have all
KD
three of these
too, right?
superstars all tweeted about Hooters and then now become a super team?
And then the whole the callback to, when was it, dude? 2017 or 2018 when Booker was like, I don't want to go to a super team. I want the super team to come to me. Well, lo and behold, it's a Hooter super team, bro. If they all had magic rings and they were just the Hooters emblem,
yeah,
they could all come together and form a super team. That's what this is. And then you have DeAndre Ayton just sitting in the corner by himself.
I know.
He's that verbal meme of they don't know that I'm here right now.
I know, and he's poor DeAndre. He's like, so what do you guys want me to do? Am I shooting threes now? And we're like, no, why? Who said that? Whose idea?
Yeah. He's I don't know what to do with him, dude. Honestly, one of my friends today was like, well, Vogel was really vocal that he really wanted to work with him and stuff. And I was like, well, dude, what else is Vogel supposed to say?
Right.
He's kind of the awkward thing in the corner. You kind of have to acknowledge him. But I guess the market for DeAndre is as quiet as we thought it would be, right? We all kind of said it at the end of the year, who's really going to want to touch this contract? He's getting paid $35 million a year, has obvious confidence issues.
You're saying this about the Chris Paul contract 2 weeks ago. Remember that? Everybody was.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I was definitely wrong about Chris Paul. I haven't been proven wrong on DeAndre Ayton, because already there's been plenty of teams that have Gambo's come out and said that the Trailblazers are not interested. The Raptors are not interested. Who the fuck is interested in DeAndre Ayton then? I can't think of a team out there that would really, really want DA. I mean, the fact that the Wizards wanted a 38-year-old Chris Paul instead of him when they could have had one or the other, blows my mind.
Yeah, it basically tells you cap relief was more interesting to them than DA, but the Wizards are lost at sea. That was just a weird perfect storm situation. And that's frankly, that's probably what you're looking for with DA too. And maybe that doesn't come till, I've kind of said this before the Beal deal that, maybe they are playing this out till the All-Star break to see what DA looks like in the fold, again, whether this was with Beal or not, and then just sort of rebuilding his value too, because I think some of the stink on him is playoff stink. And then I think he goes out there and sort of does 20 and 10 on some nights. And you're like, oh yeah, he's got potential and he's still 24. And then you see what the deal, what the market is as teams decide that they want to tank or not tank. So I don't know. You might just have to play the market with him. The DA thing's interesting though. I definitely thought we would still be talking about keeping him as a piece, but now with these three guys and talking about where the cap goes, you think he has to be moved for multiple pieces now. I think it seems really untenable with him on the roster for multiple years moving forward. So I'm with you that we're finally. All we had to do is trade for KD and Beal to just get the rocks in motion or whatever here to get DA. But I don't know. I think he's got to go. You're probably right.
Where do you think would be the best trades for him?
Hesse, throw something in the trade machine quick, fire.
I know Hesse thought about this, bro.
Ayton for Dame, straight up.
Yeah, I know.
Dame,
yeah, let's just keep throwing him. Yeah, because you know what? Honestly, since it worked for Beal, why not ask for Dame and then just see if we can't get, Ayton for some other suit? Maybe Luka's available. There's some people that are making the case that Luka actually should be traded. This is his highest that point of value, and if you could bring back DA for him, Dallas, who says no?
I will say that the NBA community is pretty pissed off that the Wizards accepted this trade, because it makes no sense. Even though people thought the Brad Beal trade was, or not trade, but contract was like a bad contract, which why would that be a bad contract, by the way? The dude's averaging like 27 points a game. Yeah, 45 mil is a lot, but like, and he doesn't have the best injury history, but like, the dude's a certified bucket. Like, I mean, him and Booker's game is very similar. So if you like Booker, then I don't get why that would be a bad thing. But again, we got him for nothing. Like, and I guess the rest of the NBA community is just pissed off at that. There's been scouts and GMs that have actually come out and said, like, I don't understand why the Wizards would ever accept that, and why they didn't just do like what the Nets did with KD and just draw it out and try to get the absolute most when a team is going to be desperate enough to give you the most. It was weird, really, really weird trade. But I love it.
Are we sure the Wizards weren't just like sort of making do for other poor franchise? Like the Timberwolves reset the market with the dumbest trade ever, like the literal dumbest trade ever. And maybe the Wizards were just like, yeah, that was too far. Don't worry. As like one of these lower tier teams, we'll just step up and sort of recorrect the market here and get us back to par, like maybe that just needed to happen. Yeah, like it was just they saw like how dumb the Gobert trade was, and they're like, nobody's worth that. We'll just, just send a second rounder and Chris Paul. It's fine.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I love it, dude.
It's a weird deal.
How do you feel like he's going to fit on the team?
I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I think it's really interesting. Like, obviously, he's a third piece, but it is, to Hesse's point, like, so playing Hesse's devil advocate, he's right. Like, we still, like, are you going to just let these guys facilitate the offense all the time? Do you still want a pure point guard at some point? There's some interesting stuff, man. I don't know.
Hesse, what do you think? Where do you think he fits?
I mean, he scores more, so it gives us more threats down there. But like, I'm just curious to see what the rest of the roster shakes out. Ayton, does he stay? Does he go? Do we get more pieces? Who do we get as a vet minimum? Because I mean, I know players are going to join us just because of the roster we have. So we're going to have people there. I'm just curious to see what happens the next month, especially after the draft.
Yeah, I think typical James Jones, we're not going to be involved in this draft once again. Just goes back to what I said earlier. James Jones can make a hell of a trade, but he ain't going to draft nobody, and he's not going to do really any kind of scouting. So how do
you see this roster? Does this like work for you, Dugan? Like, does this? I mean, because obviously we're excited because we traded and we got a better asset, so we're excited about like the possibility. But I'm going to tell you that I don't watch Wizards basketball. They're like not on ever, and they're not until. I mean, I just feel like I'm guilty of not even watching that much Beal basketball in the last couple years.
No, yeah, I love it. But I only love it because of what we already have. You know what I mean? Like Devin Booker can definitely play like that combo guard, point guard kind of hybrid role. Definitely can facilitate. And then with the way this offense is already anyway, Kevin Durant brings up the ball 50% of the time anyway. I think the need for like a traditional point guard was kind of lost post KD trade. Because you wanted the ball in both of those guys' hands more than anything. And then obviously what really hurt us in the playoffs was the fact anytime we did swing the ball over to somebody like Chris Paul, he couldn't hit a shot, right? Like he could not hit a 3-point shot. He had lost a lot in his legs. He was missing a lot of those middies that he would hit normally anyway. And Bradley Beal, I think he averages like 43% on catch and shoot threes. Like, incredible 3-point shooter. Another guy that can probably bring up the ball quite a bit too. So now you have 3 ball handlers. I mean, do you really need a point guard at that point? They all average, I think, over 4 assists a game too. So I just think the need for a traditional point guard is just not there anymore. And the NBA as a whole, I mean, if you look at the NBA overall, like most of these guys are not Chris Paul point guards. That Chris Paul 2000 style point guard, it's kind of gone the way of everything else. It's just not there. And you need that kind of dynamism like from your guard positions that they can do both. And I think going into next season, as long as everybody can stay healthy, I don't know how you defend this team. I know we said that when we traded for KD, and we were kind of wrong because I don't think any of us anticipated, number one, the KD injury, and then also like Chris Paul just fucking turning into dust, even though we should have known that was going to happen. But now, like, I mean, it rings even more true. Like, how do you defend this team if everybody's healthy? You can't double Booker. You can't double KD because then Booker's open. Then Brad Beal is open. Then you can't double Bradley Beal because then those two freaking monsters are out there. It's literally like it's literally a three-headed monster. Like probably more so than we've seen in the NBA in a while. All three of those guys can go for 50 on any given night. It's insane. I hope that answered it.
It does. I was just going to give Hesse a chance to chime in if he wanted to too, but no, I'm with you. I mean, I just think more talent is better. When in doubt, acquire talent and then try to figure it out from there. And then if you find out, it doesn't work together, then you have talent and you figure out how to move those pieces. And if you turn one of those guys into, again, like we're talking about the Ayton trade, 3 others, then so be it. Like, then you address that at that point. But I'm with you. Just give me 3 dudes that can score, that can handle the ball, and we'll figure it out after that.
I think what Hexie said rings really true too, though. Like, it's going to be very dependent on like the vet minimum guys that we get, who we fill the bench with, because you cannot run into the same situation as you did the last playoffs, where you have nobody off the bench. And I think Hesse, you're right. Like, they're going to attract some of those guys that you never thought you could get on a vet minimum before because that's just what they want to take. I don't know who those guys would be off the top of my head. Maybe you know a few of them, but they have to do that. They have to get value in an Ayton trade, and they have to fill out the roster because these 3 guys alone average 80 points a game. So you get 30 more points from your bench, you're good to go. So I don't know. I'm excited. Season can't get here quick enough. Now that we've made our big move, like, I have nothing else to look forward to in this offseason. Unless we pull off Dame, like Hesse said, then I'll just shit my pants. So that'll be fantastic.
Save it for the pod.
Awesome.
Love to see your face while you shit your pants. Be good for the video. Good for the video.
Yeah, now we're doing video. You better watch what you asked for, Buckaroo. Let me tell you. All right, Hesse. We had some footy happen today, didn't we? John, you can sit this one out. You can you know how Hesse was with golf, just right there, bud. All right. We had some footy this whole weekend. Talk me through it, man.
We did. Well, I mean, I guess we should start with Thursday with USA versus Mexico, should we not?
Yeah, for some reason I felt like that was Saturday, but it's just because it was so much of a giant fucking game that it felt like not that long ago.
Yeah, USA versus Mexico, obviously a huge rivalry all the time, but we beat the pants off of them and also started a whole brawl. The fans almost got kicked out of the stadium. The whole stadium almost burned down. It was nuts.
Yeah, and he's over here like making like weird faces, but and if there's ever a game that you should have watched, it should have been this one, because there were 4 red cards, so 4 guys got thrown out of the game. There were Hesse, 2 giant brawls where one guy got his jersey entirely ripped in half.
Yeah, Weston McKennie's whole jersey got ripped in half. What wasn't there? Like 8 yellow cards?
Yeah, something like that. There were literally 9 guys on the field at one point. It was insane. But we beat like you said, we beat the brakes off Mexico, who is our biggest rival. Absolutely. They used to kick our ass. We had a moment, like, it kind of goes back and forth, but we've been kind of kicking their ass a lot lately. And it's never been more apparent that the U.S. has taken such a big step ahead, and Mexico is just, they have not. They've taken a few steps back. They do not have the guys like the U.S. does. The U.S. added Folarin Balogun, who obviously is a Arsenal kid, was an English national, and in true American fashion, we turn them around and turn them into Americans, just like we did with half our roster. Yep. Thank you, American imperialism. We love it. Our whole roster is built off of it. So We have him. Yunus Musa played really well. McKinney played really well in that game until he got into the scruffle. John, you didn't watch, but this guy literally, one of the blogging guy got his like leg taken out by a Mexican player, and like one of our players named Weston McKinney went up and tried to like, defend him, and the whole Mexican bench just converged on him and was like trying to choke him out and stuff. And he got thrown out because he pushed back. So got his whole jersey taken off. He kissed the badge. It was beautiful. It was a great moment in American history. It's right up there with like us crossing the Delaware, stuff like that. It was great. But Mexico couldn't hang whatsoever. Way too much firepower. Gio Reyna looked really good. Christian Pulisic, where the hell were you for Chelsea, my man? My God. Like scoring 2 goals and just kicking ass. And you couldn't do that at all in the Premier League. Man, like, I don't know. I don't even know what to think about him going into this transfer season, but like he looked incredible. The defense looked incredible. Mexico didn't stand a chance. And like you said, Hesse, it was a gross game. Between the fighting, the fans throwing beer at players, like the puto chant, like them having to stop the game because they literally wouldn't stop doing that chant. Like it was just a disgusting game.
Where was the game played?
In Vegas, and that's why it was like that.
Yeah, okay. Well, that explains a lot. That's all I needed to hear. So, I was like, I'll tap right back out. I just want to check in. That makes sense.
So a fun fact, Henny, because I know you don't watch soccer, but Team USA like low-key stopped playing games on the West Coast for like 10 years because every time they would play Mexico in Glendale or in LA or Vegas, like they would have no home field advantage and like this kind of shit would happen. So they literally played like every US Mexico game in Columbus, Ohio. Yes, the furthest thing away from Mexico. So shit like this wouldn't happen. And then they moved it back to Vegas for the Nations League. And it was, lasers in the eyes, all kinds of just nasty shit going on. But the US prevailed. So, Hesse, what were your thoughts on that game, dude?
It was incredible to see that huge win, that much of a train wreck of a game. But, then it was just overshadowed with, I'm sure we'll get to that other news that popped off mid-game.
Yeah. You want me to just bring it up? Triple G's back, baby. Greg Berhalter takes a 6-month hiatus and wins his job back. So, again, for our listeners that aren't familiar, right after the World Cup, the coach of the U.S. team, Greg Berhalter, there was a rumor that floated out from Gio Reyna's parents. Yes, one of our star players' parents, who was unhappy with the amount of playing time his son was getting. They put out a rumor that Greg Berhalter had kicked his wife, girlfriend at the time, in a dispute when they were like 19 years old. This was like 30 years ago. Greg Berhalter is since married to the same woman, happily married. They've completely moved on. But the Reyna family completely tried to drag his name through the mud. And the U.S. decided to not bring him back, the U.S. Federation. So they decided they were going to go out and interview. What did they say, Hesse? Like 11, 12 candidates. Like they had a whole thing going on. Yeah, they had Pep Guardiola, Jose Mourinho.
We interviewed Vieira from Crystal Palace.
Patrice Vieira, yep.
Jesse, I'm not even going to say his last name because I just can't. Yeah. I did not want him either.
Harbaugh.
If it was Greg, but if it was Greg, if it's Greg Berhalter or him, I don't know who I'd take.
Yeah, but they decided that whole process was going to take 6 months. And then they were just going to fall back on Greg Berhalter. Really disappointing because that's 6 months that we'll just never get back with development of the team and all that stuff. And then also just the simple fact that I don't think he was a great coach. Couldn't make in-game adjustments. Substitutions were off. got out coached by the Netherlands. He got absolutely just depantsed. Like the Netherlands destroyed him. And I just think we've hit a ceiling with him, and we weren't going to ever get any better. But the Federation disagrees with me, disagrees with you, and they decided to go with Triple G. So I guess we're stuck with him. But that didn't stop the boys tonight, right? We played Canada, those bastards from the north, for the gold today, and we scored within like 12 minutes. It was incredible. Gio Reyna to Chris Richards on a header on a set piece. Yeah, good old center back for Crystal Palace. And then Folarin Balogun scored. When did he score? Like 30-something minutes in.
35th minute, I think.
With another assist from Gio Reyna. So Gio Reyna seems very undeterred that Triple G is his coach again. So U.S. wins 2-0. This is the third year in a row that they've won this tournament. They are undisputed kings of soccer, and Henny should definitely start watching.
Undisputed kings. What did we win?
We won the Nations League, which is just another CONCACAF Cup. It goes towards qualifying for the World Cup in 4 years that we've already qualified because we're hosts. But
so we'd be like what? Canada, Mexico, Central America?
Yeah.
Caribbean.
CONCACAF is. Yeah, in the Caribbean.
Oh, yeah, stick it to the Caribbean. Yeah. Nice.
Hey, Jamaica used to be pretty good back in the day, my man. All right. Trinidad. Yeah, but it's basically Mexico, Canada. I mean, you're completely right. You know, it is what it is. Panama played Canada, he played Canada. They got trounced. So it's still, hey, a win's a win. We have another tournament in a week, Hesse?
Yeah, I don't know too much about that one.
The Gold Cup. Yeah, we have the Gold Cup.
I don't know who we're playing or anything.
Yeah, Gio Reyna did get hurt tonight. He was hobbling around. A few other people got hurt, so hopefully those guys are good to go. But I think that's enough soccer talk. And he looks like he's gonna just fucking die if we keep talking about
I'm hanging
soccer.
in there, man. I'm here to support you guys, dude. If you guys want to nerd out for a little bit and kick the footy around or whatever you guys say, that's cool, man.
Well,
I'm not here to pick on you. Just trying to learn.
Around. You called it kickball in the group chat earlier, bud.
Yeah, I thought that was a good burn though. That was a sick burn. I thought kickball was pretty good. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't call it that, but I think I nailed it. Look, you got me. You started winding it up with the Rory stuff, dude, and I'm not even like. I'm only on this podcast. Am I in a position where I'm just defending Rory for no reason, like by nothing? There's no reason for me to defend Rory, but you as a fellow Irishman to take him on personally, I just hate to see this side of you.
He's not Irish. He's Northern Irish. It's different. I've gone over this extensively on this podcast.
Doesn't that mean he's like the good kind? Isn't that the one we like?
No, dude, that's the one that like they literally like gave into the queen, bro. They literally gave into the fucking crown. They gave up the island, dude, and like that's why we have the IRA, right? Like they literally want to take away their freedoms. Like, am I wrong? Like we're going to Ireland in 2 months, Hesse. You'll see. All right, we're both not going to Belfast for a reason. Okay, I told you it was because the trip looked like it sucked, but it's because I don't want to go see those bastards. All right.
You saw when Ireland fans found out the Queen died and they started singing "Lizzie's in a Box."
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and what side do they fall on? Do you think they're Team Rory? No,
dude. People in Ireland
don't know what's
like
going
Rory.
on. I don't. Yeah, I'm not sure I follow anymore.
He's from Northern Ireland. It's different, okay? It's different.
Okay.
And I get it. All the people from Ireland that are going to watch this are going to be like, this stupid American is speaking for us. But
yeah, let's get in.
I'm right here, guys. I'm right here.
These guys have been on video one week and now they're talking geopolitics. I'm like, yeah, we decided to take it on. If you could point, anyway. You do have a globe back there, which is helpful. Could be useful.
Yeah.
For future podcasts.
Northern Ireland, right?
Right there. That's right.
All right. Anyway, speaking of protest, I don't know. We're even saying protest. I mean, kind of like I think there's been a long-standing protest in Ireland for a while. But the Oakland A's they're protesting silently, not silently.
Reverse boycott.
Reverse boycott. That's the word.
It's where they stop not going to the games and they actually show up for the first time.
Yeah, I think they should have reverse boycotted a while ago. I think they wouldn't be in this scenario if they reverse boycotted a while ago.
No, this ownership group was determined to bring it. They've brought the fans to the point where they're in reverse boycott. They're making up things now because like they have no other ways to express themselves other than to make up something that I've never seen before. Has anybody else seen a reverse boycott before?
Never.
Major League.
Yeah, this is Major League. Like that's the only thing I can compare it to is like they actually went full Major League on their ownership, which I thought was awesome. That was like a electric fun night in Oakland where they're chanting "Sell the team" to open the game, and then they win their 7th in a row, Hesse, to get themselves like tied, so they don't have the worst record as at least a standalone. They might have fallen back since. I got to say, I kind of got wrapped up into the reverse boycott, and I'm not actually following the Oakland Athletics, but. It was a good night. It was a good night, and we enjoyed it. They made it, they made Twitter fun for a night and made it fun around baseball. So I feel bad for A's fans, man. I have a long-standing A's fan he's been an A's fan this entire time. He still stands by them. They have the best uniforms in baseball, by the way. That's a different topic.
Yeah,
best uniforms in baseball for my money. And it just stinks if they end up in Las Vegas too. I mean, so be it if that's what happens. But the reverse boycott, was freaking awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be weird with them moving to Vegas. Are they going to keep those uniforms, you think?
They have to. Those are timeless, and they have nothing
green
else.
And yellow, yeah. I think they had them when they were in Philly, like because they were the Philadelphia Athletics before. I hope they keep them. Like I agree with you. I've always been a huge fan of like the A's, just like like aesthetic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hope that they have an equally shitty stadium in Vegas because that's always been fun too. So
yeah, the best things that come out of the Oakland thing is like the live possum and all that stuff. And I'm sure Hesse's probably got 5 more stories.
Have you seen the stadium that they're building in Vegas?
It's probably so over the top.
So yeah, it's like over $1 billion, but like it's covered for between the foul poles and then center field, like outfield bleachers, no coverage at all. So those people are just going to sweat and die watching in the bleachers.
It's like San Diego State all over again.
Have we not learned?
Yeah, except Vegas.
Yeah, except Vegas is like 30 degrees hotter. Yeah.
Way hotter. The people in San Diego almost died being left out in the sun. Those are some of the most tragic photos of the year. Times Photo of the Year nominee for the San Diego fans who forgot to bring water.
Yeah.
And a hat.
Meanwhile, all the Arizona fans are like,
yeah, just in swimsuits, baking out there at spring training. Learn to live like us. Fry yourself.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's crazy though. I can't believe they're actually leaving. Because I can't think of them being in anywhere else. You know what I mean? But then again, I couldn't think of the Raiders being anywhere but Oakland, and they've been in Vegas for 2 years, and that seems still very weird. So I don't know. It's weird. Good on the fans, I guess, for reverse boycotting. It's still a weird look, though. I don't know. I still don't get it.
It doesn't make any sense at all, but it's funny. I don't know. Yeah, like it literally makes no sense. It doesn't, and clearly it's not working. But it was fun.
Yeah.
Well, did you see the TV coverage of it? They were showing TV coverage from like other games because they didn't want to show the fans with their signs that said "Sell the team."
Yeah, they couldn't find like one normal shot of someone not acting out of like like just complete, just chaos. Like nobody was acting normal. It was that. Yeah, you're right, dude. That was awesome. I'm so glad you brought that up. Full coverage of just fake bullshit fans of like AI, like there's a bunch of fans 15099404935s out there.
Yeah, your kinfolk.
Yeah. That's all the other bots are out there, dude, just living it up.
Dude, were they doing like the whole COVID thing? Remember during COVID with like the NBA games, they would have people that were like us. They were watching games like this, and they would have them all in the stands. It was the most awkward shit in the world.
No, man, yeah. And then it was like random nights where like there was some pseudo celebrity on the fan cam watching. So kind of like what we're doing tonight, but it would be like DJ Khaled
Yeah.
being like, "Go Heat," and they just like show that, and you're like, "I guess."
Sign
I
me
don't know.
up,
This is
dude.
so weird.
Sign me up,
Oh yeah,
DJ
we
Khaled.
know you're in, buddy. Hook, line, and sinker on the DJ Khaled media train.
Listen, bro, I've seen him in concert. It was a great time. All right. DJ Khaled, low key a decent golfer though, huh?
Yeah, obviously, yeah. This is like the DJ Khaled train for like
Is this
telling
your
me he's
hell?
a good golfer. Yeah, basically someone telling me like, I don't know, dude. I think Trump and Khaled would give you a hard time in a scramble is my nightmare conversation that I do not want to have. It's an absolutely most triggering thing that could possibly happen. Is like someone explaining to me that they're good at golf because they have money and that they don't have to take care of their body one iota and apparently can just play championship level golf on Instagram or whatever. Yeah.
How many takes do you think it takes DJ Khaled to get the videos he puts out there?
I think he does. I'm sure that guy's putting a lot of film. And I mean, honestly, like how many really good shots of DJ Khaled are out there? I mean, I know he's like making a couple putts, but I have yet to see like a swing where he hit 125 yards straight with a driver. I mean, Dugan, you're not impressed.
Oh no, man! There's days I wish I could do that. At least the straight part.
Straight's
You know what
nice.
I mean?
Straight's nice, but he's got an old
Yeah.
man's game. He's got kind of a grandpa's game, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Who do you think would win in a match though? Because I heard this on one of our favorite podcasts on macrodosing. Trump or Barack Obama in a game of golf?
Yeah. So this is where it's tricky. Like Trump's obviously a good cheater. Like the fact that he even has people signing off on statements that there was like it was a hole in one and all this like weird stuff.
Yeah. That shit was
Look, on a golf course,
ever,
yeah, like on a golf course, people can write the score they want. They can take the score they want. There can be a lot of bending of the rules, and honestly, I don't really care, right? It's like your card, like you write down whatever you want. So I'm not big on policing the game. That's not my job. I'm not one of those people calling into the U.S. Open to talk about if a ball moved. Not my business, dude. But Barack's got to be a better athlete. But if he's a better golfer, I don't know. I mean, golf takes reps, and athlete doesn't necessarily equate to golf every single time. I see some quirky dudes out there that I'm pretty sure would be picked last on the kickball team that are pretty decent golfers.
Yeah, you got a valid point. That shit was hilarious, though, when Trump got the hole-in-one and he literally put out a media release.
Yeah, all-time move.
Like, we all wish we could do that. Like,
yeah.
Have you ever gotten a hole-in-one, Henny?
No, no hole-in-ones, but I mean, yeah, if I wish I could release a press statement every time I had an eagle. I mean, I would just love to put that out. Like, maybe I'll just start doing that on our Twitter account. Like, I would like to announce.
Yeah, I was going to tell you that.
And
Please
I need like
free.
several people to co-sign pictures, have people signing off, have it maybe, like get a notary out there.
The next time you get an eagle, like send me a shot with you and your ball, and I'll throw it on the Instagram for you.
I'll have to. My one buddy does have me pulling a video pulling the ball out of the hole on an eagle. So I'll see if I can get it up there. I will.
Okay, yeah, we'll throw it on the Instagram just for the people. You know, what do you think, Hesse? I mean, you think that'd be good content? Just John golf memes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, just John golfing all day. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. There's got to be 3 to 4 people that are super interested.
Yeah, all those golf accounts on Instagram are amazing. So, I just saw one today where some guy's car was set on fire.
We got to get him a Shank It Golf polo, though, if we're going to start putting him on the Instagram.
Yeah, most of the golf content that does get out there, to Hesse's point, is I think pretty much what you described at the scene at the soccer game. So it's mostly like people trying to break carts, light things on fire, slamming a half a bottle of Fireball, falling on their head. And then occasionally there's someone taking a nice swing and hitting a golf ball.
That's just the stuff that gets to you, Hesse.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Right. Yeah.
You should see our group chat.
My algorithm is wild.
Yo, Hesse, real quick, did you see the video of the chick at the Mexico game where there were like these 2 dudes like beefing and they were like swinging on each other and the girl tried to break it up and the guy pushed her out of the way and then she came up and put him in a freaking headlock? and like literally knocked him out. Did you see that?
Dude, I think I sent that to you, or maybe you sent it to me, but it was, that was
Okay.
wild.
Dude, I'm telling you, that
Because-
game, that was not a soccer game. That was a fucking war zone, dude.
Well, that's why they don't play on the West Coast. That's why they play in. Can
I don't
say
know
this?
whose bright idea it
White-ass
was.
Columbus,
Number one.
Ohio.
I don't know whose idea it was to, number one, put it, if you're going to put on the West Coast, why Vegas? Like, that's just asking for trouble.
Let's get wild.
Everybody's already blitzed out of their mind anyway.
Yeah, for those of
Because
you
we're
that
talking
maybe
about it right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say
On
if
a
you
golf
haven't been
podcast.
to something into Vegas, right? Like I remember going my first time to watch like a U of A event in Las Vegas and walking into the basketball arena, the pit there or whatever, and like walking in through the general admission and immediately in front of you is a full bar, and I was like, wait, what is going on here? This is a college basketball game, and I can get a double tall Jack and Coke before I even. Like 10 seconds into admission, like there's a line, or I can get like a 78-ounce beer. Vegas is wild. I mean, which I think you guys all probably already know, but it all checks out.
Yeah, Henny, big Vegas guy. He loves it. And to be honest, my favorite stories are Henny Vegas stories. So, what's your alter ego out there?
It's Wayne Sheridan, but I mean, really shouldn't be putting it out in the public like this. I mean, now I have to come up with a new alias for my alias.
Yeah, I'm sure. Sure, all our listeners are going to snitch on you right now. They're calling the MGM Grand as we speak.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, like again, the same 3 to 4 people that care about my Eagle video. I'll be all over that.
Yeah. Man. All right, guys. Anything else out there that happened that was interesting that you guys want to go over? I think Henny was real hot to trot on the College World Series for some reason, but I tried to keep it out of the show.
I'll just say that if you're not following particular Twitter account, I wish I could remember the name of it. There's a bar there that's just keeping track of the amount of Jello shots taken by university, and LSU is alarmingly ahead of everyone else. I'll just say that. So I mean, I'm not saying you have to watch the College World Series, but if you want to watch that Jello shot counter, it's a real good indicator of what's going on and who's playing well. And much like Vegas, Louisiana State University was built for this.
Oh, hell yeah. You're absolutely right, man. Perfect, boys. You got anything, Hesse? Any parting words?
I mean, Mbappe.
Oh, you wanted to bait me in with that, bro? I thought we weren't going to talk transfer window. All right. Well, we got another hour, right? Right, Henny?
Fired up, man. Fired up. I don't care. I'm here for the soccer. I can learn.
Yeah, dude. Killing Mbappe, that whole saga is crazy because Fabrizio Romano is reporting that Kylian Mbappe will not renew his contract. Therefore, PSG is saying, if you don't re-sign, we're gonna kick you to the curb. He is I guess you'd probably say Holland at this point, but arguably the best striker in the world. There's a lot of Real Madrid smoke, but their chairman came out today and said that they're not signing anybody else this summer. So who does that leave him to go to?
Man U.
I was going to say Man U. They did just get some new Qatari owners. Well, allegedly, it's not done yet, but they could, and they want to spend big. If he goes to Man U, I'm probably going to just give up. I don't want to see it because they're also going to get Mason Mount, and I'm going to just hate my life for that too. So, yeah, man, I don't know. Chances are he probably just stays there, calls PSG's bluff, and then just walks next year. But
well, I feel like this has been announced for years. Like every summer we talk about, oh, where's he going to go? Where's he going to go? And all of a sudden they're like, wait, what? You actually want to leave?
Yeah.
It's like, well, you've done this for years. I mean, it's kind of like when Cleveland set their town on fire because LeBron actually didn't want to stay in Cleveland.
The mistake by the lake, baby. Is that what Paris is now? Is that the mistake by the lake too? No, I mean, hey, it was no secret, right? Like, Messi left. By the way, Messi coming to Miami. We haven't even talked about that really. Coming to Inter Miami. They're looking at trying to get rid of Neymar. Neymar is probably going to go to Saudi Arabia. A bunch of guys leaving. I mean, what else is there really for Mbappe to fight for? You know what I mean? Like they don't they're going with a very young team. He's young as it is, but he's also incredibly good. I mean, he can go to a Man U, he can go to Real Madrid, he can go to, I mean, any team really. I would love to see him at Chelsea, but it's not going to happen. But it's going to be a very interesting summer to see where he goes. Absolutely.
Well, Chelsea is rumored with like every single player on the transfer market, so why not add one more?
It's fun to be a Chelsea fan. You know, when you got mad money, and then you also got the Saudis coming in. Look, apparently just all the things in my life lately are just impacted by Saudi Arabia. You know, Live Golf, PGA Golf.
Yeah.
Now Chelsea is doing a lot of business with Saudi Arabia. They're trying to like funnel all their bad players into Saudi Arabia, launder the books that way. So just guess big Saudi guy over here, you know.
Don't you dare watch one of their games, or you're just going to get accused of something else.
Brother, I've already been accused of everything from our live content. I'm good. John's over here calling me a sycophant. So, I mean, hey,
Yeah.
I'm here for it, baby.
Is this the biggest summer in French sports in quite some time? Mbappe and Wemby? I mean, that's pretty big for France.
Yeah, probably. I mean, they did just win the World Cup. Wait, no, they didn't. They lost in the World Cup. Holy shit. They lost to Argentina. So, yeah, I guess this is their rebound summer. You know, it's their hot girl summer. They're trying to get over a bad breakup. So I don't know, I guess. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in the soccer world. We could talk about it for hours. But I mean, basically like Messi going to Inter Miami, that's going to be crazy for the MLS. Mbappe potentially leaving. Saudi Arabia spending like $1 billion on players because they're trying to be like the new Super League. It's crazy, but we can definitely try to talk about that on another episode down the road. I think we need to have Mr. Hussey back on here and just talk exclusively soccer and make John sit through it all, make him learn. So he just wants to follow along with us and
just show pictures of the kids and just let them cheer him on.
I can't do that. Yeah, I can. I'm really strong uniform evaluator. That's really where my strength is. I think you heard it in the Oakland A's bit, but I mean that is really an area where I like to thrive. You know,
we should do that actually. You know what we should do is we should bring up Premier League jerseys, and you don't really know who they are. You know what I mean? Like it's not soccer jerseys don't say like their name. We can just power rank them. You know, and with this, I can share my screen. So
you could do that, and then I would end up like one of those schedule release videos. Like, who do you think this is? And I'd be like, the Wisconsin Fireballs. And you're like, well, they're in Europe. And I'm like, well, all right. Yeah. So I think I'm basically one of the, you know what I'm talking about? Like, who did that release that was good? Jacksonville? Texans? Colts? I don't remember who it was, but basically one of those videos where I have no idea. Titans? There it is. Thank you, Hesse. That's why you're here.
Yeah, it's true. Let's actually plan that out, boys. I think the listeners would like that. We'll do a blind, test where I show you a jersey, you rank it 1 through 18, and then whoever's at number 1, that can be your pseudo Premier League team. How about it?
I think I might get Chelsea fan. I think I'm with you. Like just from playing FIFA. Like when we did the video game ranking, I mean that's where Chelsea is because I was a Drogba guy, big Ivory Coast fan.
You hear that, Hesse?
I want him to be a Nottingham Forest fan. I just love that.
Little John. Little John from Nottingham Forest. Yeah. Robin Hood joke, sorry. It is what it is.
I got you. I picked it up.
All right. Let's go, boys. We'll let the listeners get on with their merry weekend. Another Robin Hood joke anyway. All right. Don't forget to click subscribe. I know that's a shit joke.
I like the delay on the bad joke, though. I mean, it wasn't a bad joke. I liked it. I was with you. I mean, East Bank, West Bank, whatever you want to do next. You want to go Men in Tights, we'll do it.
All right. Anyway, don't forget to click subscribe on Spotify or wherever you're listening. Leave a review, share it. Helps us out a lot. Also, please go ahead and subscribe on YouTube now that this is in video and you can see all our dumb faces making these dumb remarks. We're not just some random voice in your ears. You can actually watch us be stupid. So, and then also please follow on social media, Twitter. John is incredible on there. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. We're on all of them. Feel free to give us a DM, give us ideas, what you like about the show, what you don't love, and then just continue to follow us. We appreciate everything you guys do. You boys have any other closing thoughts? Wow, John really taking advantage of the fact
Taking
that they can
advantage of
see him
video,
by
just
shak-
shaking the
by
head. I'm like, that
shaking his
works. I'm like,
head.
stay tuned. Otherwise, you'll never know how I feel.
All right, cool. Well, Hesse, thank you for joining us this week, man. It's always a pleasure when you're on, and we'll have to have you back on for the unofficial kit draft by Henny. So we'll talk to you guys. Have a great weekend. Bye.